Before humans existed, before the first forests covered the earth, the ancient Slavs believed there was already a war being fought. Not between kings or armies, but between two forces that controlled reality itself. Every storm in the sky, every bolt of lightning, every flood that swallowed the land. They believed all of it was part of the same, eternal conflict. Above the world stood Perun, god of thunder, lightning and order. And beneath the roots of existence itself waited Veles, god of the underworld, magic and chaos. And according to the old stories, they are still fighting to this day. To understand Perun and Veles, you first need to understand how the ancient Slavs imagined the universe. They believed all existence was connected by a gigantic cosmic tree, usually imagined as an enormous sacred oak. Its branches, trunk, and roots divided reality into three realms. At the top was Prav, the realm of the gods and cosmic order, the sky, the stars, and the domain of Perun. In the middle was Yov, the world of the living, humans, forests, rivers, animals, the ordinary world. And beneath everything was Nav, the underworld, the realm of spirits, death, forgotten knowledge, and hidden magic. This was the domain of Veles. But the most important detail is this. Veles did not simply live beneath the world tree. He held its roots. Perun ruled the heavens above. Veles ruled the foundations below. And neither could destroy the other without destroying the world itself. This was never a war that could truly end. It was a balance held together by conflict. Perun was one of the most important gods in all Slavic mythology. His name comes from an ancient root meaning to strike, which perfectly reflected how people imagined him. The Slavs saw Perun as a massive warrior crossing the sky during storms, armed with an axe or hammer capable of creating lightning itself. Thunder was believed to be the sound of him moving across the heavens. But Perun was more than a storm god. He represented law, order, justice, and stability. He was the force that kept chaos from consuming the world. His sacred tree was the oak, strong, ancient, and deeply rooted. His sacred animal was the eagle, ruler of the skies. And his sacred metal was iron. Warriors swore oaths in his name, and breaking those promises was believed to invite Perun's wrath directly. To the ancient Slavs, lightning was not random, it was judgment. If Perun ruled the sky above, then Veles ruled everything beneath it. He was the god of the underworld, death, magic, wealth, cattle, poetry, and hidden knowledge. But unlike Perun, Veles rarely appeared in a single form. Sometimes he was described as an old man. Sometimes as a giant serpent coiled around the roots of the world tree. Sometimes as a shadow moving through forests and rivers. That uncertainty was intentional. Veles was the god of transformation, of things that changed shape, crossed boundaries, and refused to stay controlled. And despite how later religions portrayed him, Veles was not truly evil. He represented chaos, not meaningless destruction, but the natural force that breaks down old things so new things can grow. Without Perun, the world would collapse into disorder, but without Veles, nothing would ever change. The stories surrounding Perun and Veles almost always follow the same pattern. Veles steals something from the world above. Sometimes cattle, sometimes treasure, sometimes human souls, and in some stories, even the sun itself. In response, Perun descends from the heavens to hunt him. The storm begins. Thunder rolls across the sky. Lightning strikes the earth. Rain floods forests and rivers. To the ancient Slavs, storms were not simply weather. They were evidence of divine conflict. But Veles never fights directly. He hides. He shapeshifts. A serpent, a wolf, a man, a shadow among the trees. And Perun pursues him relentlessly across the world. until finally, lightning strikes, the storm fades, rain nourishes the earth, and order is restored once again, at least until the next storm arrives, because Veles always returns, and the cycle begins again. This wasn't just a story told around fires at night. The ancient Slavs built their entire lives around it. Perun's sacred oak trees were sites of genuine worship, places where oaths were sworn, where offerings were made before battles, before harvests, before anything that mattered. Archaeologists have found enormous oak trees at the centers of ancient Slavic settlements, not planted for shade, not for timber, planted as altars. When lightning struck an oak, which it does more than any other tree, the Slavs didn't see destruction. They saw Perun marking his territory. A lightning-struck oak was sacred, the wood used in rituals, the site remembered for generations. Veles had his sites too. Low places, wet places, river banks, cave entrances, places where the boundary between the living world and the world below felt thin. People left offerings there quietly, privately, because Veles rewarded those who acknowledged him, Perun above, Veles below, not just as theology, as the literal physical layout of the world they lived in every single day. And when a storm came, when thunder rolled and lightning cracked, the Slavs didn't run inside. They watched, because they knew what they were seeing. What makes this myth remarkable is that it was never simply about good versus evil. The ancient Slavs understood something more complicated. Perun could never fully destroy Veles, because without chaos, nothing changes, nothing evolves, nothing new can grow. But Veles could never destroy Perun either, because without order, everything collapses into madness. The world survived because both forces existed together, sky and underworld, lightning and roots, creation and destruction. The Slavs believed reality itself depended on the tension between opposing forces that could never truly defeat one another, and in many ways that idea still feels surprisingly modern. The ancient Slavs believed every thunderstorm was a reminder that the war between Perun and Veles never ended. Not a battle between good and evil, but between order and chaos. And maybe they understood something we forgot. That the world survives not because opposing forces disappear, but because they continue pushing against each other forever. So the next time thunder shakes the sky above you, remember what the old Slavs believed. Somewhere beyond the storm clouds, Perun is hunting Veles once again, and beneath the roots of the earth, Veles is still waiting. Watch the sky.